Number 20, Dr. Fate. Because Dr. Fate has mastered a power set magic that many DC characters don't have, he has an advantage that many heroes and villains don't possess and struggle to combat. The original Dr. Fate was Kent Nelson, the son of archaeologist Sven Nelson, who awakened a powerful being called Nabu. Following the death of his father, Kent Nelson was mentored by Nabu to become an agent of the Lords of Order. Kent's transformation into Dr. Fate granted him powers of spell casting, invulnerability, flight, superhuman strength, force fields, accelerated healing, pyrokinesis, telekinesis, telepathy, teleportation, and immateriality. Magic users in the DC universe aren't nearly as numerous as the superhuman spandex wearers the brand is known for, but Dr. Fate is still a character of vital importance as one of the founding members of the Justice League. Number 19, Shazam. Teenager Billy Batson is chosen by the ancient wizard Shazam to be his new champion by saying the name, Shazam, allowing him to transform into an adult superhero with the abilities of 6 legendary figures. He possesses wisdom of Solomon, strength of Hercules, stamina of Atlas, power of Zeus, courage of Achilles, and speed of Mercury. He later changed his name to the Captain after he found out he could not say his magic word without transforming. Number 18, Wonder Woman. Not only an immensely powerful DC character, Wonder Woman also makes for one of the greatest and most empowering icons in superhero storytelling. The daughter of the Queen of the Amazons and Zeus, Diana inherited many great abilities, like her super strength, speed, flight, and even accelerated healing. However, many of her defining attributes such as her prowess in both armed and unarmed combat and her tactical brilliance, were bestowed upon her through many years of training. As a result of her being mentored by her mother, Wonder Woman is perhaps most associated with her values. Even more so than her superpowers and gadgets, she represents the potential for a world without deadly conflicts and symbolizes the strength of love and kindness as qualities that all beings should aspire to. Number 17, Black Adam. Ranging from a corrupted though sympathetic antihero to an outright supervillain, Black Adam has long stood as one of the most powerful beings in the DCU universe. The character's origin story has been rewritten a couple of times depending on what role writers want him to serve, but he has always been an ancient Egyptian slave who is bestowed with great power by wizard Shazam. However, he also receives powers from Egyptian deities when Shazam abandons him. Considered to be one of the most dangerous beings on the planet, with his powers regarded as being alpha level, Black Adam has the potential to be one of the most compelling and defining characters in the DCU. Number 16, Darkseid. Powered by a cosmic energy source known as the Omega Effect, Darkseid is one of the greatest and mightiest antagonists associated with the Justice League, a merciless tyrant who resides over Apokolips. Darkseid's intergalactic conquest is defined by the cruel ruler's volatile belligerence, sadism, and his ultimate goal of enslaving all life to bend to his will. He is aided by the legions of frightful underlings he commands as his expendable foot soldiers. In terms of sheer strength and power, Darkseid can be outmatched by other heroes of the DC universe and even some of its villains, but he has proven himself to be more than a match for the entire Justice League, which is no small feat. Darkseid's apocalyptic genealogy imbues him with many great powers. With his most famous ability, the Omega beams he can shoot from his eyes, which are capable of destroying planets. Number 15, Lex Luthor. One of the most iconic comic book villains and famously the arch-enemy of Superman, Lex Luthor isn't necessarily the most physically powerful figure in DCU's body of work, but he is among the smartest. An evil mastermind, Luthor has almost single-handedly proven that even in the cosmic, human ingenuity and intelligence are not something to be underestimated. While it is always fun to see superhuman entities clash with brute force, Luthor is Superman's greatest rival because he so effectively challenges the Kryptonian in interesting and sometimes confronting ways. He uses his smarts and his resources to inflict significant emotional stress, and even pain, on the famed Man of Steel. He has also been able to face off with some of the most formidable cosmic figures in the multiverse with success. As he maneuvers to get what he wants through power plays, it makes him arguably the single most dangerous character in DC Comics. Number 14, Superman. Kal-El, also known as Superman and the Man of Steel, is an obvious pick as one of the most powerful characters in DC Comics, if not in all of fictional storytelling. His powers are universally renowned, from his ability to fly to his superhuman strength, his laser eyes, immortality, and even his ability to turn back time. The fact that the source of his powers is a yellow sun makes him an ever-ready protector of planet Earth. However, despite being seemingly impenetrable, Superman does pose some pretty significant weaknesses, namely his susceptibility to kryptonite as well as his vulnerability to magic. The latter makes characters such as Dr. Fate and Felix Faust particularly dangerous for him. Aside from those vulnerabilities, though, Superman is impervious to almost anything, making him the Justice League's most powerful member. Number 13, Supergirl. It has long been a contentious discussion topic among DC fans whether Supergirl is the strongest Kryptonian ever, eclipsing the power of her cousin Superman, also known as Kara Zor-El, and Kara Danvers when on Earth. Supergirl has the same abilities as all Kryptonians when living under the power-enhancing effect of a yellow sun. These include flight, immortality, and several enhanced modes of vision, while she also possesses superhuman strength, speed, durability, and senses. She is also actually older than Kal-El, and lived for a brief period of time in Krypton's Argo City, which initially survived the destruction of Krypton, though the growing presence of kryptonite saw all its inhabitants die except for Supergirl. Number 12, Eclipso. Eclipso has evolved to become one of the most intriguing villains in the DC universe, a primordial manifestation of divine wrath. Eclipso is capable of overshadowing powerful heroes and manipulating and in some cases, even enhancing their powers to suit his own needs. While the villainous entity cannot be destroyed, there are some sorcerers capable of exorcising him from his hosts and even containing him. However, the best measures to stop him are only temporary, and as a primordial being, Eclipso's true power remains nearly unmatched. Number 11, Dr. Manhattan. The most powerful character from the Watchmen comics, Dr. Manhattan was originally the celebrated nuclear physicist Dr. John Osterman. However, following a botched particle test that was believed to have killed Osterman, he returned as Dr. Manhattan, a godlike being of pure energy who is the only superhuman being in the story. Among his greatest powers were his ability to reconstruct matter in mere seconds, his complete control of subatomic particles, and his ability to see the future. Number 10, the Anti-Monitor. The Anti-Monitor controls the antimatter universe and stands as one of the most powerful foes the Justice League has ever faced. Through his destruction of thousands of universes, he is responsible for more deaths than any other DCU villain, including heroes like Supergirl and The Flash. While his powers range from super strength to reality alteration, the Anti-Monitor's most devastating trait is his ability to absorb the energy of living beings to fuel and enhance his own powers. Number 9, Perpetua. While being a slightly newer addition to the DC universe, Perpetua has stamped herself as one of the comic book saga's most powerful and formidable characters, a member of a god-like race known as the Super Celestials, while also being a member of the Hand, a group of cosmic entities tasked with creating universes. Perpetua has the ability to create new realities and is the mother of the DC universe at large. Additionally, she is also the mother of the Anti-Monitor, the Monitor, and March Novu. While she was considered to be almost omnipotent, Perpetua's powers required a massive source of crisis energy to operate at full strength. When she had that, however, she was a tyrannical cosmic entity hellbent on destroying all the multiverses and creating them anew, and more savage. In her own image, she remains one of the most devastating villains the Justice League has ever faced and could only be tested by an entity like the Darkest Knight. Number 8, the Spectre. The Spectre has undergone many drastic transformations as he occupies new hosts to carry out his duty. After the aforementioned Eclipso was cast out of heaven, the Spectre replaced him as the embodiment of God's wrath, making him a nigh unstoppable force as he carries out the vengeance and fury of his master. While he has taken on the form of a great many hosts, he is most recognizable to many comic book fans as taking the form of the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, who embraced the Spectre as a way to redeem himself following his actions as Parallax. At the peak of his powers, the Spectre possesses near omnipotent magical and physical prowess, enabling him to control the fabric of time, space, reality, and matter. He also has several mental manipulation abilities, as well as super strength, flight, and energy manipulation. Number 7, the Darkest Knight. The Batman Who Laughs is one of the more disturbing twists in DC Comics history. a villainous combination of Batman and the Joker imbued with the most defining attributes of both characters and a disregard for life. The character became the Darkest Knight, a supremely powerful entity with nigh unlimited physical and mental abilities. The greatest showcase of his power came when he betrayed Perpetua, having granted her access to the dark multiverse as a power source, and trapped her in the fragments of the Source Wall before killing her. It made him the most immediate and powerful threat to the Justice League, a being of pure darkness. His only true weakness was his own arrogance, which led to his downfall at the hands of Wonder Woman. While he hasn't been put to screen yet, the Darkest Knight would make for a perfect DC animated character. Number 6. Superman Prime. Superman Prime, also sometimes known as Superman Prime 1,000,000, is a futuristic iteration of Kal-El imbued with tremendous power. Having lived within the Earth's sun for 15,000 years, his backstory details Superman leaving Earth in the 21st century after everyone he cared about died and journeying across the DC universe, where it is reported he transcended time and space, and even ventured as far as heaven, hell, and realms beyond that of human comprehension. Throughout his travels, Superman learned new abilities and enhanced his pre-existing powers to become the supremely powerful Superman Prime. When he returned to Earth, he bequeathed his power to a number of his descendants to uphold justice and truth. He stands as the final, purest, and most infinitely powerful version of Kal-El. Number 5. The Endelus. A dysfunctional family comprised of 7 embodiments of abstract aspects of life. It is difficult to imagine a more powerful force than that made up of dream, death, destiny, despair, desire, delirium, and destruction, classified as the Endless. Within their respective elements, each of the Endless is virtually all-powerful with complete control over their domains. They operate less as heroes or villains and more as inescapable facts of life, regarded as being nigh omnipotent. Their reach and power extend far beyond that of most other DC Comics characters, making them the most powerful beings bar some other celestial powers. Number 4. Lucifer Morningstar. It is difficult to trump Satan himself in terms of sheer power. A celestial being of incalculable power, Lucifer Morningstar holds domain over elements of creation, something that gives him the ability to manipulate existing matter, including concepts like time, into anything he can imagine. While he lacks the ability to create something from nothing, this ability still makes him one of the most powerful entities in the DC universe. Additionally, Lucifer Morningstar also possesses eye-catching abilities like magic, immortality, telekinesis, and telepathy. In addition to powers like superhuman strength, he is also a master of manipulation and, while he isn't depicted as the embodiment of all evil as Lucifer traditionally is, he still resides over hell and has proven many times that he is not a being to be messed with. Number 3. Michael Demiurgos. As a demiurgic archangel, Michael Demiurgos is among the most powerful beings ever created. The brother to Lucifer, Michael was the angel responsible for stopping his revolt in heaven, leading an army of angels in battle against Lucifer and casting him out of heaven. Imbued with God's power and an overwhelming numerical advantage, Michael quickly defeated his brother, though the aftermath of the war held some interesting consequences for the archangel. Among his greatest powers are his nigh omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence, as well as his Eldritch Blast, a projectile of divine energy that was capable of harming even Lucifer Morningstar. He is also immortal in that he will never physically grow old, and is capable of resurrection when he is killed. He serves as the guardian of the gate of heaven. Number 2. Elaine Belloc. As the daughter of Michael Demiurgos and the successor to the throne of heaven, Elaine Belloc is one of the strongest inhabitants of the DC universe. While she was initially discovered as a young girl with the ability to see ghosts, she was quickly revealed to be capable of so much more. She boasts a vast range of abilities, including but not limited to atomic manipulation, magic, immortality, omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. She gained even more power when Michael was killed. She sits second only behind the Presence as the god-like deity's eventual successor. Number 1. The Presence. Unequivocally the single most powerful entity in the DC universe, the Presence is the divine creator of all things, equivalent of the Abrahamic interpretation of God himself. Peerless in terms of his might and power, the Presence is responsible for granting many of DC's strongest characters, such as the Spectre, their divine powers. Appropriately, the entity is spoken of in the comics more often than he appears, but as an omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent being, it could be argued that he fills every panel of every DC comic book ever written. Amusingly, where so many other heroes, villains, and gargantuan cosmic beings have flashy outfits and intricate suits of armor, the Presence tends to simply wear a suit, a neat mustache, and a bowler hat. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more video, please hit the subscribe button, and if you have something to say, please leave a comment.